The following program is presented by Pro Sound and Video.
Good morning and welcome to Broward Teen News.
We're here at Cooper City High School to take a look at how Cooper's community and its school have been doing.
Stay tuned to see Cooper City High School's first virtual show.
And a well-known author.
I'm Adam.
And I'm Jordan, and Broward Teen News starts now.
All right, let's get started with our first story of the show.
We're going to kick it off with Chase, who got to visit Jay's Landing, gaining the chance to speak with one unique pair.
Hidden in Plantation, there is a little barn making a big impact in the community, with a unique duo helping others in a time of need.
Hi, I'm Sharon Chatlis. This is Jabez, and we are the pet assisted therapy team for Jay's Landing. That was a yawn. I don't know if you got that in there. Did you get it? Jabez was born the very first day I started working at a barn in Coconut Creek, and I've been taking care of him for 19 years, and he's just wonderful. You can't put a price tag on the effect that this little horse has on people. During the COVID, we've had a lot of individuals that are really struggling with depression, with isolation, and we do some really intense times with people that are really having a tough time. That's been probably the biggest blessing out of all of the 6 months that we've been stuck at the barn.
In addition to helping other people going through hard times, Jabez has also been able to help Sharon through hardships of her own.
He has helped me through a lot of situations and experiences in my life that have been very difficult. I lost my dad, I lost a very close friend of mine, lost my job, my income in the last 6 months, and it's given me a reason to get up in the morning and get dressed and come to a very special place and take care of some really special animals.
If Jabez could speak, what do you think he would tell people in these very tumultuous times that we all live in? What do you think Jabez would tell people?
I think he would remind us to keep things simple. I think he would remind us to pray. I think he would hold an expectation of us to care for one another a little better and pay closer attention to the things that really matter. To live life every day to the fullest, like it's gonna be the last, and to make every minute count.
And with those parting words, Sharon shows that we can all learn something from this little horse in Plantation. And for CTV News, I'm Chase Parada.
While we were able to learn from Sharon and Jabez on their farm, there's still more knowledge to be learned.
Caleb was able to go over to Family Farms to speak with another individual with some knowledge of his own.
Here in sunny South Florida, the family farm is bustling with life. And beyond the gates is the man behind it all, sharing his wisdom with farmgoers.
When the children come here and the families, they learn to engage with the animal and understand the humanity of nature. There's feelings, there's value in life, there's the whole cycle that we live and we're a part of, but it goes so much farther beyond than your little circle in life.
And while visitors are educated about the animals and produce, Robert has learned through experience some knowledge of his own.
What I would like to share on a personal experience level is that when you learn farming, it's a part of your life, the way that it is with me, you learn that not every step is where you're supposed to go. It's just part of the journey. What you learn is that you keep going and going and going, and then slowly your steps amount to distance to arrive to your destination. And that's very important, and that's something that you learn one step at a time as you live and grow.
Not all knowledge is technical, and most is learned through the natural ways of life, the family farm proving just that.
While on the topic of knowledge, we're going to see a more quiet route.
Let's take a look at this real page turner.
Our world is built on the idea of passing down lessons. From parent to child, teacher to student, the knowledge shared is preserved in these bookstores for generations.
You're not assigned the majority of your learning in, YouTube videos. It's books, because that's that act of reading it, having your eyes go over the letters, and then letting, finishing a sentence, a paragraph, or a chapter, and then pausing and letting it kind of play around in your mind a bit is really how you learn and how you expand your horizons.
Sharing knowledge does not stop with books. It continues through stories that are passed down by people. Caitlin Woods is a frequent reader, but she shares and applies her experiences of literature through her life.
It just comes up in every day, just talking to my friends and family. So I always want to know what people in my life are learning from, what's important to them, and sharing that, what's important to me.
The simple act of reading is a more engaged act than other ways that you might be able to take in knowledge, like through a video or through a conversation. Like when you put the specific effort into reading, you're seeing those letters, you're following the arguments and the storylines. Like that's exercise for your brain.
Books are the keepers of knowledge, containing the stories of people's own experiences, allowing us to learn from them if we just take a peek. Signing off from Firebird TV at this student television network, I'm Liz Fonseca.
High means life, and the Tree Amigos in Cooper City breathe life into their botanical endeavors.
I got to take a look at High Farms recently to check out what it's all about.
Hidden in Cooper City is High Farms and Gardens, where their mission is to supply healthy produce to locals.
This place is unique because not a lot of people locally are growing their own food in a significant amount. We are impacting a lot of people by growing organically, focusing on food crops. We impact people's food security, I would say, in a positive way. Food security here in South Florida, in Broward County specifically speaking, there is not a lot of food security. As we saw during the pandemic, once people couldn't get out to the supermarkets as easily as they could, they started, I think, really coming to us to say, hey, how can I grow my own food? It wasn't us looking for them anymore, it was now them looking for us, which was really cool.
Not only do the customers leave with a piece of advice in mind, but the workers at High Farms are also left with some knowledge.
If somebody comes, I'm not just selling them a plant and a fertilizer, I'm actually setting them up with their own food system. So when they get home, they're ready to start growing and they have success where before they didn't have that success. I love the fact that I get to talk to a diverse amount of people. We go out of our way to teach, but people go out of their way to also let us know what they're doing. So now the learning just becomes exponential, and it's really cool.
And with that, they strive to create a unique and meaningful experience for their diverse range of customers.
90% of our customers are moms looking for a way to better their homes, better their kids' health through food, moms who love to garden. We've seen little by little more and more younger people come through. That's kind of like the progress that I love to see here. And I'm really happy and I'm really loving to see new young people come here to ask about gardening. Not just like, oh, I want a really cool shade plant that I don't kill, because I know that's important, but that success can also give you something in return beyond just growing a plant, which is food and, different things. Yeah, that connection is important. And once if pulling a carrot out of the ground is one of the biggest connections that farmers and the people that come to the farms can have, because that just I don't know what it is about people pulling carrots. You're like, oh my God, it's just the best experience in life. And if you get a chance to do that, and you get a chance to do that in your own home, and you get a chance to do that in your own home with your kids, that's mind-blowing for everyone.
From educating locals on how to grow their plants to providing food security, High Farms and Gardens is a place where knowledge grows. For CTV News, this has been Jordan Winnick.
It's certainly interesting to hear the story behind the shop.
And speaking of shops, Emily was able to visit a local crystal and gem store. Let's check it out.
While most people find hobbies in sports, music, or art, one shop owner has managed to turn her unique passion into something special, sharing it with locals at the Crystal Cave Rock and Gem Shop.
My husband, my son, and myself went to North Carolina and we mined for rubies and sapphires, and we found them. And as I said, I thought I'd died and gone to heaven. It became our hobby instantly. When we came home, we joined all the rock and gem societies in the local, and this is what evolved from it. It was our hobby.
With nearly 50 years of experience in the field, Jackie strives to provide her customers with high-quality service and attention to detail.
I buy each and one individually. Like, you saw I brought in a heart today. I have to see it. I don't like things just brought in willy-nilly, because nobody gives you really the best. They give you D's and C's, that type of thing. Not good.
Regardless of the wide variety of customers that Jackie meets, she offers each individual with the crystal best suited for their needs.
The thing is, most people that come have a good reason. They want love, they're in ill health, and they come to ask me which of these stones will help them. Which of course they do, because we have dolomite down there. And dolomite, as you know, is one of the minerals that you take, or a lot of people take, let's put it that way. So that's the main reason. And other people just want the beauty of the stones, and they feel so good when they wear them and leave. So that's what happens.
Whether it's something that catches your eye or has special meaning, the Crystal Cave Rock and Gem Shop sure shines bright within the community. For CTV News, I'm Emily Chang.
While we've been staying mostly local, learning from the community, we're going to take it on over to Hawaii.
Kayla got to talk to a man who takes reusing to the next level.
Hawaii is home to a rich and abundant ecosystem, but with marine debris continuing to pollute our oceans, it harms that very system. However, one family pair has found a passion towards repurposing that debris into something special.
Well, I think one of the most important lessons to learn of living sustainably is, the 3 R's: recycle, reuse, and repurpose. And the way we've been able to use this found material from the sea, these gifts from the sea, is to repurpose them into something that nobody would have ever imagined.
Through that debris, a treehouse was made, and it housed not just waste, but an idea that spread throughout the Hawaiian community.
This treehouse is it's a manifestation of everything that we as a community believe in. We believe in repurposing lost and found treasures. We believe in helping lost and found people. We believe in helping lost ways of society and reforming them and helping find the way that we need to be in the future. And I think that just not only the physical treehouse itself can be a representative of hope for the future, but the way that people are when they come to the treehouse. You step in the door and there's a peace that comes upon you.
As you go down, it's usually old. The tree is older, but the treehouse might be newer.
Now that we have this platform, we'd really like to speak out on issues like climate change and parts of society that need to be, like I said, the reform that needs to happen. And we need to discuss how we're going to integrate these changes in a way that is applicable to the future and applicable to a sustainable way of living, and finding a new light for the way that people interact, the way that people love the environment and one another, and we're here to spread love and peace and environmentalism.
And equally important, and maybe more important than stuff that's found and repurposed, is the hope that a lot of people have lost, especially right now at this really kind of dark time in 2020. And it's nice when you can find hope again. Come to the Gaiosphere, come to the treehouse, and find a reason to kind of smile and hope.
This treehouse is proof that if something gets lost, it can always be found. And Dr. Dan and Natalia have managed to make something beautiful out of what was once lost. And for CTV News, this has been Kayla Kissel.
Coming up, we'll be taking a look at one exciting place.
But we'll be right back after these announcements.
It's amazing to see how places adjust to the pandemic's new lifestyle.
Cooper City High School's Thespians also figured out a way to adjust with an all-virtual show. Jake's got the story.
Honey, what are you doing in there? Nothing, Mom. Do you know what time it is?
In times like these, Broadway shows across the country have come to a standstill. But in traditional cowboy fashion, the CCHS Thespians have found a way around it.
So we actually knew from the start that things were going to be very different, and we were going to need a creative team that could, get through all these obstacles and figure out a way to make the show work.
Although it's an unprecedented experience, the Thespians were still able to come up with a creative idea for this year's show.
So the play is all about an online society of teenagers. They all have code names, and all of them only have one thing in common. They all have insomnia.
Well, maybe, Poppy, think about this. It's a good thing. We never sleep.
In order to tackle the obstacles of an online production, the cast had to get very creative.
So something that our makeup designer came up with was that she was going to create YouTube tutorials on how to do each and every makeup design for each different character, what they needed to put on. And so that way, the actor is able to sit at home and watch step by step exactly what kind of makeup they need and how to apply it onto their face.
Even with all the challenges in producing a completely virtual show, director Piper Breslin has looked towards the positive side of things.
Well, the virtual experience surprisingly doesn't actually throw off much. It's just kind of the format of the show. The process is still pretty much the same. Not much is different. We still have rehearsals every week. We still, we run the show, we time it, all the same process of the actual show. It's just we have to edit a few things.
This cast is extremely strong and their personalities really shine through. And I think the audience is going to be really surprised by what we have to offer.
Being stuck in the house 24/7 may drive you a little stir-crazy.
But some park goers show us an alternative to being in the house.
I like coming to this park because it allows me to experience outdoor life at the same time as seeing my friends, and exercising and spending time with friends go hand in hand, especially if you're playing a sport.
I love coming to this park. It's really safe and I can enjoy the outdoor environment. It's fresh and it's something very family driven. The kids love coming here and spending time together while playing.
It's different than being inside on the phone or whatever, and it's better to be in nature without your devices and just talk and have an actual conversation.
When I come and do my drawings in the park, I feel more relaxed. I get to focus more on what I'm doing. It's a different experience from doing it stuck in a house. Here, I enjoy the natural environment at least.
Coming here, you get to meet new people and get better because the community helps you. It feels like you're more healthy and it just helps you feel better, your body, instead of being inside all the time. Helps you feel more connected to the environment.
As we saw, the park may be a good alternative from home as a place to relax.
But Chase has another place where you can let out a little steam. Let's take a look.
In the past week, a new business opened up in Davie, where you can walk in, suit up, and break everything in sight.
The
Smash It House is going to be a upscale rage room for people 14 and above, and it's great for groups, people who are throwing a birthday, divorce parties, corporate events, team building exercises, and it's going to be a lot of fun for people to come in and break stuff, to let your stress out and to have a good time.
In these tough times that we all live in, the Smash It House has given people a place to relieve their pent-up stress.
This is a perfect facility for a time like this. You know, people are looking for things to do now, and unfortunately with COVID, a lot of businesses have shut down. So now this facility that's open now can cater to groups that want to just get out and have fun and also relieve some stress. So this is a perfect environment for both worlds, people who want to just get out and enjoy themselves a night out on town, and people who are just going through some stuff, you know, and just want to get out some stress in a healthy, safe atmosphere, which we provide.
And outside of the room, Adam has found a rather unique way to entertain himself.
It's actually very relaxing watching different people, how they use the room to, you know, deal with fun and stress, and it never ceases to amaze me. It's like, oh, I didn't think they would be hitting that, or they would be able to hit that for that long. A woman in here, maybe 18, 19, literally she was very, very small, petite lady. She took a sledgehammer for 30 minutes, and there's that oil barrel. She literally for 30 minutes was hitting it with a sledgehammer. I've never seen anything like it. It was amazing. So yeah, it's fun to watch and it's enjoyable, and I do use my room occasionally, so yeah.
With these times of crisis, you may have been told to just breathe, but the Smash It House shows that a way to relieve stress could be through a release of anger. And for CTV News, I'm Chase Parada.
There's many heroes out there nowadays.
But there's one unlikely hero out there who can swoop in and save the day.
Picture your everyday hero. Maybe it's a nurse or even a firefighter. While they do come to the rescue, who's there to save you when you have a bad hair day? Well, Janice is here to the rescue.
We'll have a lot of people that are like on their way to like the airport and stuff, and they come in like really hurried, and they're like, I only have 30 to 40 minutes. I have to go. So we'll try and make it work. We'll wash them really quick and then have the stylist ready to blow dry them. We do have some people that like, they're taking passport pictures, or they'll go to an interview and they're really nervous, and we just try to give them like a relaxed feel before they go into their interview and stuff.
This unlikely hero and the salon in hand help their clients get their groove back while enjoying the work.
My favorite part about the job is just making people feel better about themselves. It's a lot of hard times right now. A lot of people lost their jobs, and you know, it's a sad time for a lot of people. So we just like giving their confidence back and making them feel happy again and bright, and just bringing them back to life. We definitely save the day most of the time. Pretty much every day.
Whether you've got bedhead or just a bad hair day in general, Janice and the Main Changes Hair Salon are here to save the day, giving you a cut to die for. For CTV News, I'm Emily Ching.
A positive mindset may be hard to hold on to during times like these.
Despite the setbacks, Sarah has managed to stay affirmative.
Before COVID, millions of high school seniors were getting ready to go to college, and Sarah Salamon had plans to travel to Toronto University in Canada.
I wanted to go to a school that was out of state because I wanted a different experience than everyone else here, because so many people stay in state, and I just wanted a whole different experience with different people from all around the world.
After COVID struck, 97% of college students switched to online classes, leaving many unsure if they would get the full college experience.
My college plans changed because of COVID, and the fact that I didn't go to live on residence, which I wanted to do so bad, and I was a little upset about missing out on the dorm experience.
But even away from campus, Sarah has still been able to enjoy most of what college has to offer.
I'm literally talking to people on Zoom or FaceTime or Snapchat, literally constantly from University of Toronto, like every day. And I have some friends already that are in Germany and Singapore and the Netherlands. It's like every single country and continent, like I know people from there already, and it's so cool.
Even though Sarah's original plans were not fulfilled, she manages to find the bright side of it all.
I try to have a positive outlook on it because I know I'm going to be there eventually. I just have to wait until it's like safe to go. So I try to stay positive even though it's not like the ideal situation.
COVID has proven that things don't always go as planned, but by keeping a positive mindset, Sarah shows that's not always a bad thing. For CTV News, I'm Nicole Scharf.
As the show comes to a close, we're going to leave you with a story from an inspirational author.
Chase got the chance to speak with Dan Gutman, a popular writer amongst younger generations.
As a kid, we often remember books by their characters, but hardly do we ever appreciate the person who creates them. And with that, we decided to shine a light on an important author from our youth.
So hi everybody at Cooper City. My name is Dan Gutman. I'm a longtime children's book author. My first book came out way back in prehistoric times, back in 1985. But I was writing for grown-ups back then. And it wasn't until my son was born in 1990 that I started to write for kids. So as soon as I started writing for kids, I felt like this is what I'm good at. This is what I should have been doing all along. And that's what I've been doing since about 1994. Not a day goes by when I don't get a email from a parent or a teacher or a librarian saying, my son, my daughter, my student hated to read. They wouldn't pick up a book. And then they discovered, one of your books. And now all they want to do is read your books, and they're hiding under the covers with a flashlight, reading your books. And it makes me feel so good. Just the idea that I could write some silly words on a page that could have like a positive impact on some kid's life really makes me feel like I got into the right business for me, and I'm really happy that I landed doing this.
Dan, instead of letting quarantine get the best of him, used it as an opportunity to get in touch with his fans.
In March, when schools started closing and the whole world seemed to be turned upside down, I started to get some emails from some teachers asking me permission to read my books aloud for their students who were learning remotely. And I said, sure, go ahead. But it occurred to me that if they were reading them out loud, what's to stop me from reading them out loud?
Burning stuff up is almost as cool as blowing stuff up.
And I did it once, and the reaction was so powerful. So many people tuned in, and I got such positive responses from people that I decided to keep doing it. And I had thousands of people tuning in just to hear me read my weird school book. And it was a really wonderful experience.
And when it comes to his books, Dan is able to learn as much from the kids as they learn from him.
A lot of my ideas have come from kids. So I was having lunch with a group of kids one day, and I said, as I always do, what's the weirdest thing that ever happened in this school? Some kid raises his hand and says, well, last week the dentist was here at our school. And I said, what? And they said, yeah, every year the dentist comes for one day and teaches the kids about dental hygiene. And I thought, that's a My Weird School book waiting to happen. So I wrote Dr. Floss is the Boss about a dentist who comes to the school. And I, dedicated the book to the kids at that lunch who gave me that idea. It's really meaningful. Beats getting a real job, too.
And as a kid who loved your books, the students from Cooper City High School and I would just like to tell you.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Dan.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you, Dan. And for CTV News, I'm Chase Parada, signing off.
Well, that's all for now.
Thank you for tuning in to CTV's edition of Broward Teen News.
Have a great day.
Broward Teen News was brought to you by ProSound and Video.